In the beginning, before the first sunrise, the earth was not empty. It was occupied. Most people think Genesis 1 describes a peaceful unfolding of light and life. They are wrong. Hidden within the original Hebrew text of verse 21 is a word that the King James translators were too terrified to accurately name. They called them great whales, but that is a lie. The word is Taninim. These aren't animals. They are primordial chaos bringers, deep-sea leviathans that existed before the foundations of the world. Ancient legends say God didn't just create them, he had to go to war with them. And according to the prophets, one of them is still down there, waiting. Open your Bible to the first chapter. Look at the 5th day. Most versions say God created the great creatures of the sea. But go back to the source. The Hebrew word is Taninim. This same word is used later to describe the serpents of Egypt and the dragons of the desert. The Taninim are the great sea monsters. Why would a god of order create monsters of chaos on the very first week of existence? Here's our first clue. In ancient Near Eastern culture, the sea was not just water, it was the abyss, Tehom, a place of darkness and rebellion. Imagine a creature so large its coils wrap around the base of continents, a being that doesn't just swim in the ocean, but is the ocean's rage. These are the chaos monsters. But here's where the puzzle gets complicated. In Psalm 74, the text says something shocking. It says God crushed the heads of the monsters in the waters. Heads, plural. Wait, if God created them and saw that they were good, why did he have to crush their heads? To understand the Taninim, we have to look at what the neighbors of Israel were screaming about. The Canaanites told stories of Litanu, a seven-headed serpent of the deep. The Babylonians whispered about Tiamat, a dragon of the saltwater abyss. The Bible isn't just telling a creation story, it's making a claim of absolute dominance. It's saying, those monsters you worship as gods, my Creator made them as pets. But don't be fooled. Good in Genesis doesn't mean cuddly. In the Hebrew mind, tob, good, means functioning as intended. These monsters were intended to be the ultimate guardians of the deep. But something went wrong. A celestial fracture. Open loop. Keep this in mind. Isaiah 27 mentions a fleeing serpent, a Taninim that escaped. We will find out where it went in a moment. But here is where everything we thought we knew is turned upside down. At the 4-minute mark of our story, we have to face a terrifying theological reality. Most scholars suggest that the Taninim were not just animals, but spiritual entities, powers. In the book of Job, God doesn't apologize for the monsters, he brags about them. He asks Job, "Can you pull in Leviathan with a fish hook?" The twist? Leviathan, the greatest of the Taninim, is described as the king over all the sons of pride. This means the sea monsters weren't just physical threats, they were spiritual mirrors. God created the great sea monsters to show us exactly how small we are. They are the physical embodiment of the chaotic pride that lives inside the human heart. But here is the dark secret the ancient rabbis whispered about. The text says God created the Taninim, plural, but some traditions say God realized the world could not survive if 2 of these monsters made it. Imagine the scene, a sea of boiling glass, 2 massive shadows moving beneath the surface, the male and the female. The legend says God killed the female Taninim to prevent the apocalypse. He salted her flesh and stored it for the righteous to eat at the end of time. But the male was left to roam the deepest trenches of the abyss. This is the Leviathan, the twisted one. He is the reason sailors throughout history have felt a cold shiver when looking into the black water at midnight. He is the reason the book of Revelation says, in the new heaven and the new earth, there was no more sea. Why?
because the sea is the cage and the Tanin is the prisoner. God didn't just create a whale, he created a living, breathing reminder of the darkness he conquered. Every time Leviathan breaches the surface, he's a walking billboard for the power of the Almighty. So what is the Taninim? They are the intersection of biology and mythology. They are the giants of the Genesis deep. When you read Genesis 1:21, don't picture a whale, picture a dragon. Picture a multi-headed serpent of the abyss that God tamed with a single word. The Bible starts with God's victory over the chaos monsters, and it ends with their total destruction. But for now, the abyss is still deep, the water is still dark, and somewhere, miles below the sunlight, the last Tanin is breathing. He's a reminder that the world God built is far more mysterious and far more dangerous than we were ever taught. The sea isn't empty. It's just waiting for the king to return and finish the war he started on the 5th day.